It was a bright and breezy Wednesday afternoon. Rhea and Ricky were busy completing their daily homework. But ooh, how Ricky wished to go out and just play all day long. He would go swishing down the slide and roll in the lush green lawns. Ricky could not wait to finish his homework and step out for some fresh air. But then he looked at his book and realized he still had 2 whole pages to write. The pages seemed longer than his big ears. Rhea stared at Ricky, who was already daydreaming. She nudged him, pointing towards his book, and told him to be quick. However, Ricky was too lazy to finish his homework. Just then, he had an idea. He decided to simply hide his book and go out and play. He would finish his homework later in the night. "Mom, can I go out and play?" "Have you completed your homework?" asked Ricky's mother. "Yes, Mommy," Ricky lied, feeling a nervous twitch in his stomach. Ricky's mother instantly knew that Ricky was not being honest. She smiled at Ricky and opened the door. "Okay, Ricky, if you are done with your homework, you can go and play." Ricky pursed his lips, nervously, but then he could see the playground. He smiled and rushed to play. Ricky went higher and higher on the swings and rolled on the green grass. Soon, it was dinner time, and Ricky was hungry. His eyes went wide at the sight of the crunchy burgers that his mother had prepared. He munched a few burgers and slurped on the thick, creamy strawberry milkshake. Soon, it was nighttime, and everyone was off to sleep. Ricky decided to finish his homework at night, but he was too tired. He kept burping and dozing off. He struggled to finish his homework. "Oh, how I wish I had completed my homework in the day! And I lied to Mother as well. I am so tired. How will I finish my homework now?" wondered Ricky. Just then, Ricky's mother entered the room. She sat next to Ricky, passing him a glass of warm milk. "What's the matter, Ricky? Why aren't you sleeping?" his mother inquired. Tears swelled up in Ricky's eyes, and he burst out crying. "Mommy, I lied to you. I did not finish my homework. Now, the teacher will surely punish me tomorrow," whined Ricky. Not if you complete your homework. Come on, let me help you this time. But remember to never lie and always finish your homework on time." Ricky smiled and hugged his mother. As Ricky started writing, his mother sat right next to him, helping him through the night. "Mommy, I promise to always be honest with you." "Yes, Ricky. Remember, honesty is truly the best policy."
The tale of who got to deliver the mail. It was a fine sunny day in the jungle, but most of the animals were angry. And the reason was the mailman of the jungle, Pasha the snake. Pasha delivered the mail as and when he felt like, and most of the times, the letters and magazines Pasha delivered were either covered in dirt or torn and crushed. Maybe it was because Pasha's delivery bag dragged after him as he slithered all over the jungle, or maybe because Pasha just did not care how the mail looked as long as it got delivered. Soon Shamshed the lion called a meeting of the animals, and it was decided that a new mailman would be chosen. Some animals felt that the new mailman should be someone quick on his feet so that they would get their mail fast, while others felt it should be someone who would deliver their mail safe and sound. After hours of discussion, the animals agreed that 2 animals, Harry the hare and Oslo the tortoise, were the best suited for the mailman's job. It was decided that the 2 would race each other with a bag of mail, and the winner would be the one who delivered all the mail correctly and crossed the finish line first. Laughed Harry the hare when he heard about the race.
"Racing Oslo would be too easy. He moves an inch while I run a mile. I'm sure to win this race.
Even Oslo's friends, Minky the mouse and Husna the hippo, felt the same.
Oslo, we know you would make a fine mailman, but Harry is too fast. How will you ever win?
They were worried, but Oslo merely smiled in reply. A day was granted for practice. However, Harry felt no need for it. Oslo, meanwhile, spent the time in learning all the jungle paths well and soon knew the way to the home of every animal in the jungle. The day of the race dawned, and all the animals assembled at the hill near the big banyan tree. Shamsher the lion stepped forward, holding 2 bags, and gave one each to the 2 contestants as he announced.
Each of you have been given a bag of mail, which you must deliver correctly and quickly. Once all the mail is delivered, you must race back to this point. The one to arrive first will be declared the winner.
The race started, and Harry shot off as fast as an arrow. Oslo slowly and surely moved ahead. His bag slung over his shell, mail ready in his claws to deliver. By the time Harry had delivered half the bag of mail, Oslo had only delivered 3 letters. Harry delivered Mr. Rhino's mail and then took a look at where Oslo had reached.
Ha ha! That tortoise is so slow, he could put a snail to shame. This race is a waste of time.
Harry said to himself, wiping sweat off his brow.
Fear, it's hot, and all this running has made me tired. Anyways, Oslo will never catch up with me. I see no harm in a short nap.
So saying, Harry stretched out under the shade of a tree and went to sleep. Oslo, meanwhile, kept moving on, pushing mail into the mail boxes. As Harry slept on, Oslo finished his task and headed for the finish point. Some birds sitting atop the tree Harry was sleeping beneath laughed aloud as they saw this.
It seems the tortoise is faster than the hare.
They chirped. Hearing this, Harry woke with a start and saw Oslo near the finish line. Grabbing his bag, he raced to finish delivering the remaining letters.
Mrs. Snake, Mr. Orangutan, Miss Owl,
muttered Harry as he hurriedly tried to finish. Finally, his bag was empty. But then he heard a shout.
Hey, Harry! This isn't my mail! This is for Mr. Giraffe!
It was Big Bro, the elephant, looking angry.
Oh, and these are not my magazines either. You know I'm a strict vegetarian.
Squealed Madam Deer, holding up a copy of All the Meat You Can Eat. Harry gasped. In his hurry, he had not read the addresses correctly and had mixed up the mail. He hopped to correct his mistake, but it was too late. From the hill near the big banyan, there rose a huge cheer as Oslo crossed the finish line and won the race.
Congratulations, Oslo,
said Harry to Oslo.
I guess speed is not everything. You were slow, but kept at it till you were done, while I was careless and lost my chance.
Yes, Oslo. You will make a fine mailman,
said Shamsher the lion.
And so, we have a gift for him!
Sparkling new red bicycle that was wheeled towards him.
Oh, well, I guess a little speed is always a good thing,
he said as others laughed and cheered the new mailman of the jungle. Golu and Lalu in the rain. It was the rainy season and the sky was overcast with dark thunderclouds. As a strong wind rocked the trees about his home, Golu looked out his window and thought,
wow, it seems as if the rain's coming down really hard. What great luck that Mom and Dad are not home. What fun it'll be to get wet and splash about in the rain as much as I want.
He rushed out just as fat drops of rain started to splash about and knocked at his friend Lalu's home. But Lalu did not want to join Golu, for he did not know how to swim and was scared that he would drown.
You know what, Golu?
Said a nervous Lalu.
You two shouldn't be outside in this kind of heavy rain. It could be dangerous.
Bah, you're such a coward.
Teased Golu.
Fine, Stay hidden in your house. As for me, I'm gonna have some great fun.
Lalu hated being called a coward and wanted to show Golu that he was just as brave. Lalu sneaked out his house while his mother was not looking, and both the little ants ran as fast as they could from the anthill towards the open ground beyond. Thunder rolled loud and lightning lit up the gloomy sky bright as the rain started pouring down hard.
Woohoo!
Shouted the delighted Lalu and Golu as they danced and splashed in the fresh puddles formed. In all their fun and frolic, they did not notice for a while that the pitter-patter of rain had grown to a heavy downpour. But when some of the really heavy drops hit Lalu hard on his back and head, he realized it. Worried, he told Golu,
I've played enough. Let's go back to the anthill.
But Golu ignored him and splashed and squelched on and on about in the wet mud. The air being chilly, soon hail the size of large ice cubes started to fall. The hail pelted Golu hard and he got a big, nasty, painful bump on his head. Lalu, dodging and hopping this way and that, trying not to get hit by the hail, was now annoyed with Golu.
See, hadn't I told you that we should be going back home? Now we're...
Okay, alright, Lalu.
Said Golu, also dodging the icy hail.
Stop sounding like my mom, okay? Let's go.
Golu and Lalu started running, but it was too late. The heavy rain had turned all the mud on the ground into sticky, wet slush. Golu and Lalu couldn't run as their feet got stuck in the sticky mud. They fell, trapped and unable to swim.
Help us!
Help us!
They screamed, but the sound of the rain and thunder drowned out their cries. Lalu started crying.
No one will ever find us. What did I do?
I'm sure our parents will find us. Let's keep calling for help.
Suggested Golu, though now he too was quite scared himself. They tried shouting, but were now too weak and their shouts were barely heard. However, a bird that had taken shelter from the rain in a bush nearby heard the feeble cries of the two ants. The kind bird, despite the rain and hail, plucked off a big leaf and dropped it next to the drowning ants. Golu and Lalu, with some difficulty, climbed onto the leaf, which the bird then picked up in his beak and, flying over to their anthill, placed it carefully down. Relieved to be home, Golu and Lalu stepped off the leaf and thanked the bird for saving them. Smiling, the bird said,
It is good to be brave. Not be afraid and enjoy doing thrilling things. But that doesn't mean you knowingly put yourselves in danger. That is not being brave, but being foolish.
Realizing that he had not just put himself, but also his best friend in danger, Golu felt foolish and sorry. But he was forgiven by a now smiling Lalu and the kind bird.
Always be a good sport.
One day, Rhea and Ricky decided to have a running competition in the garden. The fastest runner amongst the two would get an extra share of cookies. Ricky was swift as a rabbit and took quick steps. Rhea ran fast as well, but lost her balance at a turn and fell down. Ricky passed her swiftly, screaming, "Come on, Rhea, catch up!" Ricky giggled. Rhea stood up again, stretched her leg a few times, and started running again. Ricky won the running competition. Ricky jumped with joy. Yay, I won! Rhea felt sad, demotivated, but then quickly cheered up and congratulated her brother.
Congratulations, Ricky.
The next day, Rhea and Ricky decided to have another competition. This time, they decided to play a game of table tennis. Ricky and Rhea were both swift and quick. The game was getting intense. Irritated, Ricky threw a really fast and hard shot. The ball hit Rhea on her head, and she fell down. However, Ricky only registered that he scored a point and did not notice poor Rhea fallen on the ground with a sore eye. "Yay, I won again!" screamed Ricky with joy. Rhea still muttered,
Congratulations, Ricky.
"Looks like you hit your head. You'll be fine," said an ignorant Ricky. Rhea's mother rushed to Rhea and inquired about the bump on her head. Ricky jumped with joy and interrupted his mother. "Yippee! Mom, I won the tennis game!" "Ricky, did you unknowingly hurt Rhea?" asked Mommy. "I did not, Mommy. I was just playing. The ball hit Rhea," said Ricky. "Still, you must apologize, Ricky. You must show concern," said Ricky's mother. "But I did not do anything. It was the ball's fault," said Ricky arrogantly. "It was not his fault, Mommy," affirmed Rhea. However, Mommy noticed that Ricky was not empathizing with Rhea, his little baby sister. He was too happy to win a game. The next day, the mother arranged for the kids to play a game of football. She knew that Rhea was an ace football player. The mother joined them for a game as well. While playing, Mommy purposely kicked the ball towards Ricky. Ricky missed the ball, and Rhea scored a goal. They jumped with joy. Ricky frowned and complained, "Mommy, I fell down, so it was easy for Rhea to score a goal." "Well, you did not fall down because of Rhea. You fell down because of the ball, so she still gets a point," said Mommy. "I am hurt. Rhea cannot get a point," cried Ricky. Rhea instantly took the ball and comforted him. "I am sorry. Are you in pain, Ricky? Come on, let's get you a Band-Aid," said Rhea. Ricky was now truly ashamed and realized how selfish he had been. While he was winning a game, he never cared for his sister. But it was only when he was losing he realized how unfair he had been to his sister. "Rhea, I am sorry for being arrogant." "I am sorry, Mommy. I will be careful to not celebrate a victory without empathizing with my opponents." "P.S. Ricky, remember, a real winner always looks out for others." Mommy smiled and replied,
Cleanliness is next to godliness.
Ricky and Rhea loved the rainy season and could not wait to hear the pitter-patter raindrops. They loved making paper boats and jump in the puddle. However, they always came back home drenched and dirty. The muddy footprints would be seen scattered all around the house. Mommy had a tough time mopping the house. "Be careful, Rhea! Ricky, watch your step!" screamed Mommy. The kids would pay no heed to their mother's commands. One day, Mommy decided to play a pretend game. "Who is the cleanest?" She gave the kids chores to do home for a week. She handed cute little mops to her kids. While Rhea had to mop the floor of any dirt, Ricky was in charge of keeping the kitchen table clean. If they did well, they would be rewarded with an extra piece of her delicious carrot cake. The cleaning day was going really well, and the kids enjoyed mopping and scrubbing the floors. Soon, it was time to eat. Ricky and Rhea could not wait to take a bite of the carrot cake. Just then, they heard Mommy and Papa jump with joy. "Wow! How I love the rains! Come on, kids, let's make paper boats and jump in a puddle!" called out Mommy.
"But I want to eat carrot cake,"
said Rhea. "You can eat when you come back!" exclaimed Mommy. And so, they all wore boots and stepped out to play in the puddle. They all jumped one by one. Splash! Sploosh! They jumped and played along. They made paper boats and played ring-a-ring-a-roses. Soon it was time to go home. Rhea and Ricky held their parents' hands and walked back home. Rhea and Ricky could not resist the fragrance of the delicious carrot cake. The kids wanted to rush, but since they had worked so hard to clean the floor, they removed their boots and wiped their feet on the floor mat. Rhea and Ricky both stepped inside. They were very careful while walking and did not leave a single muddy footprint. Rhea and Ricky were very hungry and could not wait to take a bite of the crunchy cake. Rhea in particular looked around the clean floor and could not wait to get her prize, an extra piece of the delicious carrot cake. Just then, Mommy and Papa rushed inside like two spoiled kids. They stepped inside, stomping muddy footprints all around the house. Rhea was very upset and rushed to stop her mother, walking around in her dirty, murky feet. "Mommy, your muddy footprints are a nuisance. Look at the floor." Mommy replied, "Well, that's what happens when you don't clean your feet and enter a room. You will clean it up before you start eating the cake. Am I right, Rhea and Ricky?" Rhea and Ricky realized what a trouble they have been to their dearest mommy throughout the rainy season. Rhea and Ricky hugged their mommy and made a promise that they would surely be careful before stepping inside the house with muddy feet. "Come on now, have your cake while I clean the floor," said Mommy. And that's how Rhea and Ricky learned to never step inside a home with dirty, murky feet.
Ria Plays Dress-Up. Ria's favorite room in her house is the playroom that she shares with her brother. It is full of her favorite toys, dolls, and games that she spends hours playing with. She also loves Mom's dressing room, where she sometimes sneaks in when Mom is not looking. Ria loves to play dress-up, where she acts as if she was someone else or even something.
Out come the scarves and hats,
Giggles she as she playfully rummages through her own little trunk of treasures.
and the ribbons and the flowers. I could be a princess.
Says she, twirling her mother's big gown. But then she slips on the rug and stumbles, crashing helplessly. Goes Ria. Slam goes the wardrobe. Crash goes Mom's lovely dressing table. Oh no! Mom's lovely bright makeup kit and her lipsticks lie smeared and spread. The soft and fluffy powder puff is now brown instead of creamy white.
I'm in trouble.
Sobbed Ria as she heard Mom come running down. Mom was at first shocked and then quite annoyed. But then, when she saw how Ria had thought up beautiful stories with the dresses, she smiled.
I too used to love dressing up when I was small.
Said Mom.
Next time, why don't we do it together?
Ria hugged her mom and yelled,
Yes, yes!
nodding so hard her ears got knotted up.
And then maybe there will be less of a mess.
Said Mom with a wink as Ria grinned. Handsome Shamsher meets Harry Hare. Shamsher the lion flicked his mane and said aloud to himself,
Oh, you handsome lion.
There was no doubt. He was the best looking lion of all, and he won the Looker of the Pride award every single year. Shamsher would spend hours grooming, for he knew that all the lions envied his glossy coat and shiny mane. There was only one small problem. Because Shamsher spent so much time on looking handsome, he rarely found time to get himself some food. But Shamsher did not want to hunt by running after deer and rabbits and getting himself dirty. Instead, he lunched on pineapple jam sandwiches. But today he had run out of all his favorite pineapple jam and his stomach growled. Shamsher was left with the only other choice of hunting. But the lazy, proud lion thought aloud.
Well, I have brought such glory to the jungle and its animals. So it's the duty of the animals to take care of my needs. Why should I sweat and toil to get my food? My food should come to me without I having to hunt.
So Shamsher sent a message to all that every day at noon, one animal had to come and present itself as his lunch. The news spread like wildfire, and soon a meeting was held among the animals. Though there were many wise and strong animals, one of the most respected was a young hare called Harry. Harry was very smart and often had answers to difficult situations. Now, as Big Bro the elephant scratched his head worrying about Shamsher's orders, Harry spoke.
What is there to worry so much about?
Husna the hippo said,
Shamsher has ordered that one of us agree to become his meal every day so that he need not hunt. Who will agree to be eaten by a lion? And who will go first?
Harry laughed.
Shamsher is a proud lion, and it seems he's getting lazy too. Very well, I'll go as his lunch today. But he will gobble you up. Aren't you scared?
Asked Montu the baby monkey.
Don't worry about me,
said Harry, and waving goodbye, he set off for Shamsher's den. As Harry neared Shamsher's den, he paused.
I need a good plan to outwit Shamsher,
thought Harry, and he popped in a couple of his favorite strawberry peppermints and chewed slowly on them. In an instant, his face lit up with a smile as a great plan formed in his brain. Thanking his trusty peppermints, Harry hopped quickly on towards the lion's den. Meanwhile, Shamsher was getting so hungry that he had even forgotten to admire his coat. When suddenly, Harry burst into the den.
What happened? You seem very excited.
Asked a surprised Shamsher.
I just saw the most handsome lion ever. He's new to the forest and he was roaring loudly that there is no one like him,
said Harry, trying to catch his breath. Shamsher frowned.
Roar! Did you not tell him that I, Shamsher, am the best in the jungle?
Oh, I did, oh majestic one. But he laughed a loud, mocking laugh. He then ordered me.
Take me to him! I will teach this pretender a lesson!
Shamsher was out of his den, stomping angrily, and Harry, hiding a smile, hopped forward. Soon the two reached an old well.
He has made this his den. He's inside, oh great Shamsher,
said Harry, pointing into the well. Shamsher leaned in and saw a huge, striking lion. He was shocked. The lion was indeed handsome. What Shamsher did not realize was that the lion he saw in the well was his own reflection in the water. Thinking it would scare the lion off, Shamsher roared aloud. His roar echoed back, and Shamsher thought it was the other lion roaring back.
See how he challenges you?
Harry remarked.
Well, then I will make him regret it,
said Shamsher, and dived in without thinking. Splash went the water, and Shamsher realized that he had been fooled when Harry the hare laughed and called out,
Ha ha ha! Hope the bath doesn't spoil your good looks, Shamsher, and next time you want a meal, go hunt for it yourself.
As Harry hopped off, Shamsher groaned, for now his mane was all wet. The Lion and the Mouse. Minky Mouse jumped as her oven suddenly went off with a loud
Ring! I think my chocolate cheese cupcakes are ready,
said Minky as she pulled out the fresh baked treats.
They smell perfect. All I need are some juicy berries as toppings.
But when she went up to her larder, she found she was out of berries.
Oh no! There are no fresh berries. Now how will the cupcakes be ready for Big Bro's birthday party?
No sooner had she said this when she heard the booming voice of Big Bro the elephant.
Hey there, Minky!
Hello, Big Bro, and a very happy birthday to you.
said Minky, waving to Big Bro from her window.
I was on my way to get balloons for the party this evening and just dropped by to say hello. Of course, I also know you're baking my favorite cupcakes,
said Big Bro with a big smile.
Yes, I am.
Answered Minky.
Well then, don't forget the yummy berry toppings, because that's what makes your cupcakes perfect. Ta-ta!
Said Big Bro and left.
Oh dear. Big Bro is really looking forward to his favorite toppings, and the party will start soon. I must get berries somehow and quickly,
muttered Minky worriedly. Then she had an idea.
The little waterhole. Berries grow there all season. I will rush over right now.
Minky scurried as fast as she could to the water hole. But Minky did not know that the water hole was Shamsher the lion's hunting spot. And no sooner did Minky pluck a few berries that Shamsher pounced. Minky trembled as Shamsher licked his lips.
Just in time for my evening snack.
Said Shamsher as he raced Minky closer to his mouth. Minky was very scared, but she decided she must think quickly if she were to save herself.
Stop! Please stop! Oh, handsome, mighty lion!
Squeaked Minky. Now, Shamsher had always been very proud about his looks, and he was extremely pleased to hear praise from anybody, even from someone he planned to eat.
Ah, I see you have a fine eye for things. Tell me quick, what is it?
Asked Shamsher. Minky continued.
Please don't eat me, oh great one. I'm too meek and tiny to fill your stomach. Let me go, and I promise that someday I will help you.
Shamsher laughed aloud.
Ha! You are right about me being great and you being too puny. But you will be never of any use to me. Why would a fine, strong creature like I ever want help from you?
Even the strongest fall into difficult times. Please let me go now, and I, Minky, promise not to forget your favor.
Shamsher watched the little mouse a while and sighed.
All right. Go on then. Run for your life before I change my mind. Go.
And he let Minky loose.
Oh, thank you, O generous Shamsher,
said Minky and ran home as fast as she could. Cupcakes in hand, set off for Big Bro's house, which stood in the middle of the coconut grove on the far side of the river. As Minky walked along, suddenly someone called from the dense bushes beside the bank.
Whoa! Help! I'm caught!
Minky peeked through the bushes and saw Shamsher trapped in a hunter's snare. A huge prickly net of thick rope covered him entirely, and the more he tugged at it, the more it tightened around him. Shamsher spotted Minky and called,
Minky! It's you! Oh, I'm glad someone heard me. I'm trapped!
Minky nodded, but suddenly pricked her ears. She could hear human voices and footsteps.
Oh, I think the hunters are coming, Shamsher.
Oh no! They will take me away! Please help me! Set me free!
Pleaded Shamsher.
There is no way to loosen the net. The only way out is to cut right through it,
thought Minky. With not a moment to waste, she jumped onto Shamsher's shoulder and opened her mouth wide.
Hey! Are you about to bite my ear?
Shamsher cringed.
No, silly lion. I'm going to chew through the rope and cut you free. Now, hold still.
And with that, Minky started gnawing at the rope with her sharp teeth. She was quick, and soon Shamsher was free. The hunters parted the bushes only to find an angry, free lion instead of a trapped one.
Thank you so much, Minky. You were right. Being small doesn't make someone useless or weak. Everyone has their strengths.
Minky smiled.
You're welcome. By the way, do you like parties?
You bet I do.
Well, then come along. I bet Big Bro will love to have you over for his birthday.
Great! Lead on!
Said Shamsher.
But what's special for the birthday feast? Meat cutlets?
Something even better.
said Minky with a wink, and picking her hamper of yummy chocolate cheese cupcakes, she and Shamsher set off to wish Big Bro a very jolly birthday. Shamsher's little chit-chat.
La-da-da-dee-da-da, lathering from a little shampoo. I'm so handsome, and now my mane is too.
Sang Shamsher the lion gustily as he finished shampooing his mane and flicked it back to admire it, even though it looked all flat and wet at the moment.
It's okay, mate. I know that once you're dry, you'll be all bushy, bouncy, and glorious once again,
said Shamsher, brushing it back lovingly. Just then, Shamsher's toad clock croaked loud.
Oh, is it 2 o'clock in the afternoon already? Then it's lunchtime,
said Shamsher, and headed into his kitchen to fix himself a meal. But all he found when he opened the larder doors were dozing spiders on cobwebs.
I can't believe it! I'm out of food!
Well, you would only have food if you actually went out and got some, you lazy lion,
said Corky, the naughty cockroach, and chuckled heartily.
Huh? I'll teach you a lesson, you smart-mouthed cockroach!
Snarled an angry Shamsher as he tried to grab the smug cockroach. But Corky dashed out of his reach swiftly and called out,
Ha! I'm too quick for you, Shamsher. And you're so out of practice sitting all day at home and brushing your mane that I bet you can't even catch yourself a snail. Ha-ha! Some lion who can't even hunt.
Shamsher roared so loud and angrily at Corky that the walls of his house trembled and the glass on his windows jittered. Corky gulped, cowering and deciding he had said enough, dashed off into the hole.
I can hunt, and I will prove it right now,
snapped Shamsher, and stormed out of his house, banging the door shut. It was all very well for Shamsher to rave and rant at being poked fun at, but the truth was that it had been quite a while since he had hunted. Thanks to his thoughts being always and only about winning the best groom lion contest every season, he had spent more hours shining his coat rather than chasing prey. His legs ached and his lungs wheezed as he breathed, and all this when he had just walked. Imagine what would happen if he tried to chase an animal.
Well, no harm in trying,
mumbled Shamsher, refusing to give up. So he lay in wait behind some tall grass until Django the deer cantered in with a carefree smile.
Been quite a while since I had a nice big deer sandwich,
muttered Shamsher, crouching as he got ready to pounce. But barely had the grass rustled beneath Shamsher's flexing paws that the fit and lithe Django's ears perked. Django turned and, spotting Shamsher in the bushes, darted off at top speed, nimbly leaping to a safe distance. Shamsher, who had run only a couple of steps, was already panting hard, clutching his tummy.
Hey, Shamsher! called out Django. I think you should bring some skates next time you hunt. Maybe then you will move faster.
I will teach you to mock me, you insolent deer!
roared Shamsher, furious. But there was nothing much more he could do, as Django trotted away smartly with a pitying smile. Sighing aloud and full of sympathy for himself, Shamsher got to his feet tiredly and wondered as to what next to do.
My feet seem swollen and my whole body aches. If I don't rest a while, then forget getting a meal. I won't be able to get home.
With these thoughts, Shamsher limped along looking for a resting place and soon came upon a small cave.
This cave seems quite cozy, but it also looks as if some animal has made it its home.
Shamsher peered closely and found paw prints of a smaller animal near the cave's entrance. He had a sudden brainwave.
Hey! What if I hide in the cave and wait for the animal who lives here to return? I won't even have to chase it, for I will simply block it from escaping and trap it within its own home. Ha ha!
Shamsher limped into the cave and slyly hid in the darkness within. Soon it was evening, and Felix the fox, who lived in that cave, returned, weary and tired, ready to retire for the day. Shamsher, who heard the approaching footsteps of the fox, tensed, ready to pounce. He was by now very hungry and couldn't wait to nab his prey. Felix smiled, relieved to reach his home, and was about to saunter in when his eyes fell on something strange, and he froze in his tracks. There were the prints of a much bigger animal, like that of a lion or tiger, going into his cave, but none coming out. Felix gulped, all his fatigue now replaced by fear. Was there a dangerous predator inside his home? Would he be in danger if he went inside, or was he just being silly, worrying for no reason? Felix was confused for a while. Meanwhile, Shamsher waited anxiously. He even managed a quick peek out and saw the fox staring at the cave.
Why isn't the fox coming in?
Thought Shamsher, desperate to grab Felix. But Felix was a true fox, cunning, smart, and not one to take foolish chances. He decided that there was only one way to find out the truth. And so, clearing his throat, he called out in a cheerful voice.
Yoo-hoo, cave! Hello! How are you?
The cave, of course, was silent. Shamsher, surprised, looked at the cave, wondering.
The cave speaks?
Felix pouted and said,
Are you angry with me? Why don't you reply? You greet me every day so sweetly, and that's why I love staying in you.
The cave still made not a sound.
Come on, cave, say something.
But the cave stayed quiet.
Fine, you rude cave. I don't like you anymore. I'm going away now, never to return again.
Shamsher panicked. He had to do something. So clearing his throat, Shamsher said in his best cavey voice,
Hello, dear fox. I'm so sorry to upset you. Don't go away. I was asleep and so didn't hear you return. Come inside. I'm all ready for you.
Felix laughed loud as he recognized Shamsher's rough voice.
Haha, of course you're Shamsher. But sorry, I have no wish to be such a foolish lion's dinner. Only a lazy, foolish lion like you would believe that caves can talk. Ta-ta! You may stay in my cave and chat with it as long as you wish, for I will never come back again.
And with a quick wave, Felix the fox disappeared swiftly into the forest. Hungry and tired, Shamsher returned home, learning one valuable lesson. Caves don't chit-chat. Swish smack, there goes Minku's snack. The sun shined bright on Minku's little orange cottage in the forest of Toonbun. Now Minku the monkey loved sunny warm days when he would listen with a smile to the bluebirds chirp. But today was different. Today Minku heard not the sweet chirp chirp of Mother Bluebird and her babies, but a deep long growl from his stomach.
Oh, I'm so hungry,
said Minku, rubbing his tummy. He searched through his fruit basket but found no bananas, and to make it worse, all that searching had made him even hungrier. Not able to bear it any longer, Minku decided to try his luck outside. Swishing his tail, Minku swung from vine to vine, but there were still no bananas to find. Sadly, Minku started walking down a jungle path when his nose twitched and made him stop. He could smell food. Sniffing harder, Minku looked about and saw Auntie Pig walking by with a basket of freshly baked banana bread.
Banana bread, my favorite. Oh, how I wish I could have some.
Suddenly, from the bushes, there came a loud whoop that startled Auntie Pig. Oh, heavens me! She exclaimed, looking about, but saw nothing, and so went her way, little knowing that a thick, fat slice of banana bread had fallen right out of her basket. But Minku had seen it, and he just could not believe his good luck. Quickly he ran and grabbed the slice, when another hand snatched at it. It was Morris the monkey.
This bread slice is mine,
said Morris, pulling at it.
But I saw it drop,
said Minku, pulling it back.
and I made the loud whoop that made it drop,
said Morris, not giving up.
But I'm very hungry.
Minku wouldn't let go too. Now as the two monkeys kept tugging at the banana bread slice, Cray the cunning cat happened to pass by. Hearing them quarrel, Cray stopped and watched them silently for a while. Then he walked up and politely asked them why they were quarreling. Minku and Morris told Cray that they both had found the slice of banana bread and were trying to decide who would eat it.
Why don't you share it?
Suggested Cray. Minku and Morris liked the idea, but did not trust each other with dividing the slice equally. So the two monkeys held the slice out to Cray and said,
Will you please divide it equally among us? Wow, I will if you insist,
said Cray, and took the slice. But the fresh baked scent of the bread was too tempting, and the cunning cat decided to trick the two monkeys. He divided the slice into two and was about to give them over to Minku and Morris when he exclaimed,
Wow, this one is a bit big. I'll take a small bite and make them of equal size.
And so saying, he took a bite of Minku's piece. Minku shrieked.
Now Morris's piece is too big.
So Cray took a bite of Morris's piece. When Morris said angrily that Minku now had a bigger share. Thus it went on. Cray took bite after bite of the banana bread slice as Minku and Morris acted greedy, and soon there were just a few crumbs of the slice left.
Oh well, who would want these crumbs now?
Said Cray and popped the last of the yummy banana bread slice into his mouth. Swishing his whiskers and smacking his lips, Cray waved them goodbye and walked off with a smile as the two foolish monkeys gaped, suddenly realizing that their snack was now in the cat's tummy. Poor Minku, he was now all forlorn, for swish smack, his snack was now gone. Pasha sleeps and then weeps. Pasha, the yellow-bellied snake, was quite sad. Unlike many other snakes, he was not mean or rude, nor was he poisonous, which meant that no one was scared of Pasha in the forest, not even the littlest of baby rabbits or the slowest of rickety-legged old frogs. But Pasha was not sad because he was not fearful. He was sad that he couldn't catch any food. Of course, this was also because of the fact that Pasha was a very lazy snake. Even if his friends invited him to hunt or harvest with them, he refused to go along. He just did not want to get out of his cozy little mud home beside the roots of the shady teak tree. He loved to coil up and snooze, dreaming of the mouth-watering treats his mama would get for him to gobble when he was just a wee baby snake, just as big as a wriggly worm. Oh, how his mouth watered, remembering the yummy fresh eggs and the sweet soft mushrooms. He would really love to gulp down some of those now. But who would get them for him? Pasha sighed as his tummy growled, sounding a little like Shamsher the lion. He knew that unless he got off his coils and went out in search of food, he would have to go hungry.
Well, I guess a little fresh air will do some good to my skin,
thought Pasha as he reluctantly slithered out of the mossy warmth of his hole into the brightness of the afternoon sun. The morning dew had long dried, and the grass of the forest floor crackled crisply as Pasha idly snaked through it. He yawned wide, already missing his underground home, wondering when he would get back to his nap. Thinking of it itself made his eyes droop halfway down in sleep. But then, suddenly, boom! Pasha bumped his head on something big. Rubbing his throbbing head where it hurt, Pasha took a closer look at what lay in his path. It was a small pot of milk. Pasha grinned wide, not able to believe his luck. Coiling his tail carefully around the pot, Pasha lifted the pot and headed for his home. Once back inside, Pasha slumped tiredly as he rested the pot of milk against a mud wall. Phew! Heaving that pot had been hard work, and Pasha was not used to hard work, not in the least. He wanted to sip the creamy white milk, but then again, maybe he just ought to rest a little, for then he could enjoy its frothy, buttery taste even better. Pasha leaned against his mossy pillow, smiling at his find, knowing that he wouldn't have to worry about food for more than a couple of days now. Wouldn't his friends be quite jealous when they found out, especially Montu the monkey and the baby monkeys in his pack? Come to think of it, as the pot had so much milk, Pasha could offer some of it to the pack of monkeys in exchange for fresh fruits. Montu and his friends were very good climbers and could get Pasha the sweetest and ripest of the forest bounty. Pasha would then set up a shop right outside his little hole, trading the delicious fruits for juicy nuts, beautiful pebbles to adorn burrows and nests, and choicest roots and vegetables. Soon, his shop would have the best treasures the forest could offer, and animals would flock to him to trade and buy his wares. He would grow popular, and they would start liking him and respecting him. Then one day they would all decide that he, Pasha, should be king of the forest. Even Big Bro, the bullying elephant, will bow down to Pasha and beg him to rule over the animals. Pasha would then be escorted on a splendid palanquin carved of birch and wreathed in sweet-smelling lavender flowers to the center of the jungle, as the cuckoos and nightingales sung his praises. The tigers, cheetahs, elephants and foxes would kneel with their heads bowed as Pasha slithered towards his gleaming bright throne. He would smile graciously as the crown was placed on his head and not get irritated at the angry growls of Shamsher, who would no longer be king. Louder and louder, like a spoiled cub, he would stamp his paws and claw the ground, demanding that the crown be returned to him. Pasha would try to be calm and mild, but Shamsher would not listen and get angrier and angrier. The other animals would try to take Shamsher away, but the rowdy lion would not budge. And then Shamsher stubbornly would try to snatch the crown of Pasha's head. Pasha would be stern and ask him to stay away, but Shamsher would keep coming, grabbing at Pasha's crown again and again, till Pasha would lose his temper.
Stay back, I
said Pasha as he lashed his tail out hard. Thwack! A sound cracked into his thoughts, and Pasha sat up with a jerk, realizing that he had dozed off and had been dreaming. But what had been that sound? Frothy white milk flowed onto the muddy earth, seeping and disappearing fast into it, leaving but a sticky wet patch behind. All too late, Pasha realized that instead of Shamsher, his tail had lashed out at his precious pot of milk and smashed it to pieces, smashing also his dream.
Oh no, I will never become a king now,
cried Pasha, big blobs of his tears rolling down his cheeks.
And I am still hungry.
Poor Pasha, too much sleep, and now he weeps. Big Bro has a scare. Toonbun was a thick jungle, and its many paths often got dark once the sun had set. But today, even though it was only late afternoon, dark clouds hung in the sky, making the forest look darker and gloomier than ever. Shivered Big Bro slightly as he looked about the trail he was walking on.
It has gotten dark so fast. Maybe I should have started for home earlier and not spent so much time at the fair.
As Big Bro hurried on, he heard a rustle up ahead.
Oh no, what can that be?
Big Bro slowed, a bit worried, but was relieved when out of the bushes stepped his friends Harry the Hare and Husna the Hippo.
Hello there, Big Bro.
Hi, Harry. Hello, Husna.
He greeted them with a smile.
We are on our way to the fair. I heard it's a lot of fun.
It sure is. But why are you going now? It's getting dark.
It's not even evening yet, Big Bro. Why should we worry?
Harry the Hare chuckled at his friend's concern.
Don't tell me you are afraid,
said he slyly.
Maybe just a little,
confessed Big Bro, looking embarrassed.
Well, you don't need to be, for you're one of the biggest animals in the jungle,
said Husna with a friendly pat on Big Bro's back.
Yes, and you shouldn't be scared of something unless you have good reason to fear it.
You are right, friends,
nodded Big Bro, agreeing.
I will try to remember that. Now, carry on. I hope you have a great time at the fair.
Bidding goodbye to his friends, Big Bro resumed his walk home and had not gone far when a loud, stretched-out thud and swish could be heard somewhere ahead.
What is that?
Stammered a nervous Big Bro, straining to get a look, but he couldn't see well in the dark. Came the sound again.
Good heavens! That sounds so scary, like the footsteps of a mighty animal or a monster.
Thought Big Bro. An eerie cold wind blew his way, and the sound got louder and faster.
It's getting closer. I can't walk that way.
Moaned Big Bro, his heart pounding fast. His eyes fixed ahead, Big Bro quickly took some steps back, ready to run away. But then he paused and remembered what Harry had said to him.
No, I must not be scared without reason. I must first find out what this thing is.
Big Bro said aloud, and gulping back his fear, he crept closer and closer to the spot where the sound came from. On getting near enough, Big Bro mustered all his courage and parted the bushes only to burst out into a relieved laugh. There, in front of him, lay a huge abandoned drum, and the noise was all due to the leafy branches of a tree beating and scraping on it due to the wind.
How foolish of me to get scared of just a sound,
Chuckled Big Bro.
Not only would I have run for nothing, but I would also have never got such a great drum,
Said he, as he picked up the drum and thumped a beat on it and merrily headed home. To the dentist. Ricky's aunt has sent him a gift. Ricky wonders what is inside. Could it be a toy? Or was it a book? Ricky shakes his gift and it goes clunk to clunk clunk inside. It's a box of chocolates. Yummy, milky brown chocolates filled with creams of all kinds. Strawberry, blueberry, caramel, almond, and even carrot. Yum! Ricky eats one, then one more, then another, and then yet another. Ricky's mother tells him he's eaten too many, but Ricky doesn't listen. A day or two later, Ricky's mother wakes him up for school. Ricky sits up and tries to yawn, but instead goes,
Oh!
What happened, Ricky?
asks Ricky's dad.
Ouch!
Say, what happened, Ricky?
Asks Ricky's mom again.
Ouch!
Why are you going, ouch, Ricky?
Asks Ricky's baby sister.
My tooth aches.
Said Ricky, a small silly tear in his eye. Ricky's mother decides on a visit to the dentist. Ricky's scared, but he won't say so. Will the dentist pull out his tooth? Oh no! The dentist is tall, smiley, and old.
Don't worry, Ricky.
He says.
Just be bold.
The dentist has a high chair that goes round and round. Ricky loves whirling on it. Whirr! Goes the sound.
Ah!
Says the dentist, peering at Ricky's tooth.
Do you brush 2 times a day? Now, do tell the truth.
Ricky looks at his mom and shyly shakes his head.
I do it just once. 2 is too much.
He said.
Well, too many chocolates and too less brushing, you see, has brought on in your tooth a big cavity.
Ricky moans and his mother sighs sadly.
Will you pull out my tooth? Will it hurt badly?
Ricky asks, eyes wide, but the dentist smiles kind.
Not this time. I will treat it otherwise.
Ricky returns home with his mom feeling much better. Then on, if he munches on a chocolate or a treat, he also keeps in mind that 2 times he must brush his teeth. It's a holiday, but Ria doesn't look happy. She pouts, staring out the window, saying,
It is too hot to play.
Ria's mother sees Ria looking bored and asks,
Would you like to help me out in the kitchen, dear? Oh no! It would be even hotter in there!
wails Ria.
Well, how about we make some ice cream?
Says Ria's mother.
Hooray! I love ice cream!
Ria runs after her mother into the kitchen. Ria's mother takes out some strawberry crush and Ria gets the milk jug and cream.
Please let me mix it all, Mother.
Asks Ria, and her mother agrees. Climbing onto a stool, Ria stands ready with a spoon as her mother puts everything in a bowl.
Be careful, Ria,
Says her mother. Ria swirls the mix in the bowl, but just can't stop from leaning in to sniff the yummy smell of strawberries and cream. But, whoops, she leans too far and lands in the bowl. Plop flies the mix, staining the whole kitchen pink. Ria's mother frowns at the mess, but then giggles a little and then starts to laugh.
the kitchen is cuter in pink.
Says she.
And cooler too.
Says Ricky, who walks in all hot from playing outside.
So, am I in trouble?
Asks Ria.
Not today, but next time, let's put the ice cream on a cone and not the kitchen.
Says Ria's mother. Giggling, Ria nods and runs to get a rag to help her mother clean up. And how does she finally cool off? With a glass of icy lemonade. Golu and Lalu in the demon's castle. One evening, Golu came skipping home from school and happily told his mother,
Mommy, see this. I got such a nice yummy toffee from an aunt uncle outside school.
Golu's mother looked at the brightly wrapped toffee that Golu held up and asked with a frown,
And who was this uncle who gave you the toffee?
Oh, I don't know. He just said that he found me very cute and thought I would like a toffee.
replied Golu with a careless shrug. Shaking her head, Golu's mother made him sit down next to her.
Now listen, Golu.
Said she.
You should not be talking to strangers. And you definitely should not be accepting any eatables or chocolates from them. It is not safe, and I have told you this earlier. Now give me this toffee and I...
No, I won't.
Yelled Golu, hugging the toffee to his chest.
It's my favorite toffee.
He wailed. Sighing, his mother allowed him to eat the toffee.
But only just this once. Do you understand, son?
She said strictly. Sniffling, Golu nodded, and then, with a sudden cheeky smile, ran out with his toffee. A happy Golu turned up at his best friend Lalu's house, and the two shared the chocolate while basking in the shade on Lalu's lawn. As they lazily looked about, they happened to spot the huge castle of the hideous demon Motu.
Oh my! Do you see that huge castle over there, Golu?
He exclaimed.
I bet it'll be filled with sweets, chocolates, cakes, and other yummy snacks.
Golu too sat up, nodding.
Oh, yes, it is. I've been there once.
Lalu pouted, saying,
Not fair. Even I want to go and see all those goodies inside.
But Lalu, only big ants like our fathers can go inside the demon's castle. We are not allowed to go in alone.
Oh, come on. We will sneak out when everyone is fast asleep at night and quickly tour the castle. We will return before sunrise and no one will know a thing.
This suggestion of Lalu's seemed quite good to Golu, and he agreed. That same night, the two naughty little ants set off stealthily for the demon's castle and were soon at its yard, where they saw a huge stairway climbing all the way up.
Phew,
Exclaimed Lalu.
what big steps! It'll be sunrise by the time we manage to climb to the top.
Don't worry, Lalu. My father showed me a speedy way to do it.
So saying, Golu guided Lalu, and soon they were at the door. They wiggled in through a crack in the door, but when they stepped in, found the huge hall pitch dark. Scared, the two trembled.
Ooh, it is too dark and scary here. What do we do now?
Moaned Lalu. Suddenly, they heard a scuffling sound and saw a dark shape creep towards them. With muffled cries, Golu and Lalu clung onto each other, terrified and shivering.
Don't hurt us, please.
Don't hurt us, please.
Calm down, you two. I am Uncle Cockroach, and I won't hurt you.
Sure enough, a mustached big brown cockroach stepped out of the shadows, smiling. Lalu and Golu relaxed and introduced themselves. Uncle Cockroach grinned and took out some chocolates.
You two seem like very sweet little ants. Have some chocolates.
Lalu was about to take them when Golu remembered his mother's warning about not accepting any eatables from strangers.
Lalu, we don't know him. Should we be taking the chocolates?
Oh, come on, Golu. Just look at Uncle Cockroach. He has been so nice and friendly. Why will he try to harm us? And these chocolates look too yummy.
Golu hesitated, then nodded, agreeing.
You're right. Cockroach Uncle doesn't look dangerous at all. And anyways, if I eat the chocolates right away, my mother won't even know.
Thus, ignoring his mother's wise words, Golu ate the chocolates along with Lalu.
If you do want more yummy treats like this, come with me. I have lots at my place.
Nodding happily, Lalu and Golu skipped after Cockroach Uncle as he led them into the little nook he had made his home. But as they were nearing it, they slowed, their heads drooping, suddenly feeling very sleepy. In seconds, the two little ants fell into a deep sleep. A while later, Golu woke up. But when he tried to sit up, he found he was all tied up with a rope, and so was Lalu. Try as much as they did, Lalu and Golu couldn't move at all. Suddenly, a mocking laugh from behind made the two struggling ants stop and turn. It was Cockroach Uncle. But he now, instead of looking friendly, looked more cunning and mean.
There's no use. You will never escape.
Golu and Lalu were quite shocked and close to tears.
Oh, please let us go. Our family will be worried.
Please let us go.
They pleaded.
I'm so sorry. But I can't let you go, for if I do, then the big, fat, scary lizard who lives on the roof will eat me instead of you. Now I have to leave, for it is the lizard's dinner time. Ta-ta! Enjoy being eaten.
Golu, his heart filled with fear and dread, remembered his mother's wise words and understood now why she had said that trusting strangers was a bad idea. But now it was too late.
Golu, we will never be able to untie these ropes,
groaned Lalu. Golu slumped sadly. Lalu and he soon would be chewed to pieces by the lizard, and just as Golu was thinking this, that boing! He remembered something.
Lalu, you have very sharp teeth, remember? Why didn't you just chew through my rope?
Lalu grinned, nodding at Golu's suggestions, and immediately set to work biting and gnawing at Golu's bonds. Just as Golu's ropes fell away, they saw the big lizard creep down the roof, headed for them, greedily licking its lips. The lizard rushed at them, hungry jaws snapping. The two ants scurried as fast as legs could carry and barely escaped with their lives. Panting, they rushed to their homes and climbed into their beds, promising to themselves that they would never, ever talk to strangers. Pasha wants to fly. The grass all along the forest floor glimmered green and wet from last night's rain, and all the jungle paths were slippery and slick with slush. This was a delight for the baby baboons who liked to somersault and dive, splashing down into the mud, or for the naughty flying squirrels who swooped over, dropping acorns about, spurting huge blobs of sticky dirt onto any animal that had the bad luck to be passing by. But Pasha the snake was not in the same high spirits as the baby baboons or the flying squirrels.
I've had it,
exclaimed Pasha as he tried to flick away the brown grit that covered his tail.
have had it with all this mud and dirt and grit and grime. And most of all, I have had enough of having to slither through it. Ugh.
With a forceful swish, he writhed his body, trying to fling the dirt. But Pasha burst out in irritation, startling Minku Monkey, who happened to be swinging by.
Oi, Pasha, what's the matter? Are you practicing to sing?
Joked Minku, chomping a banana.
No, I'm not. I'm just trying to keep clean. That's easy. Just stop crawling and slithering about.
Pasha rolled his eyes and muttered,
If I don't slither, then I cannot get to any place. Which place do you want to get to, Pasha?
asked Oslo the tortoise.
Oh, everywhere, Oslo. But I'm just tired of getting dirty all over each time, especially after it has rained.
Well, just take a nice long bath in the jungle stream.
Offered Minky Mouse, poking her head out one of the bushes.
Yuck!
Said Minku Monkey even before Pasha could answer.
I don't like baths at all.
Minky pulled a face at Minku as Pasha said,
Well, then I'll have to stay in the stream all day. You could swing from tree to tree.
Or hop about, like Harry the Hare.
suggested Minky.
Or fly like Igor the eagle, if you had wings.
Said Oslo almost apologetically. Pasha nodded sadly.
Yes, I could do all these if I had 4 legs or a strong tail or wings. But I don't. Anyways, thanks, friends. I should be going now.
And with that, Pasha sadly turned away, ducking into the grass as Minky, Minku and Oslo waved and went their ways. It was the same afternoon that Pasha headed towards a fruit orchard near the jungle stream. He was quite hungry, and he loved lunching on the sweet, overripe berries that lay strewn all about the banks of the stream during the season. Soon, after a belly-filling berry feast, Pasha lay contented, basking, gazing at the vast blue sky above. Of all the things his friends had suggested, who were forced to stay on the ground, there would be no more need to crawl or slither. He would simply glide on his wings, happily free of all worries.
Well, I have never seen a snake smiling quite so wide like that for a while,
said a voice, cutting into Pasha's happy musings. Pasha stirred to see 2 tall, handsome storks with lanky legs and stretchy beaks.
I was just thinking about flying.
And flying is all we do. Hi, I'm Sam and this is my brother Saru,
said one of the storks with a friendly salute.
I am Pasha, and I wish I could fly.
Saru smiled.
Well, flying sure is awesome. There's nothing like the view from up there. The beautiful forest like
Great patches of moss, the mountains like giant brown toadstools.
Oh, true of course. My favorite sight is the rainbow,
said Sam. Pasha felt wistful.
It must be beautiful. I wish I could get up there somehow.
Sam felt sorry for the sad snake, but there seemed little he or his brother could do about it.
Oh, well, it was nice meeting you, Pasha. Saru and I have to be taking some jackfruit to our cousins, so we will be off.
Jackfruit? How would you carry your heavy jackfruit?
Oh, that's easy. We share the load. Yeah, we tie to a stick and then lift the stick together and fly.
He had just got a great idea.
Then you two can take me up as well. I am lighter than a jackfruit and I can coil around the stick. You won't even have to tie me.
Sam and Saru were a bit taken aback at Pasha's proposal, but couldn't ignore his enthusiasm. Though a bit doubtful, they agreed, and soon the three were ready for Pasha's first flight. Pasha sat coiled at the center of a stick.
Okay, now remember, it can get quite windy up there, so you must sit still. Else you may fall.
Pasha nodded and tried hard to keep his body from trembling with all the excitement he was feeling. Sam and Saru nodded to each other and, spreading their strong white and grey wings, took off with Pasha. Pasha's eyes went wider and wider and his heart beat faster and faster. With each meter, he rose off the earth and towards the sky.
Oh my!
He thought,
This is much more wonderful than I imagined it would be. The massive elephants are as small as ants, and the mighty trees look like weeds. And best of all, neither am I crawling nor am I dirty anywhere.
As he thought this, he felt an urge to check his tail and without thinking coiled it off the stick he was supposed to hold on to. With a slick, slimy swish, Pasha slid off the stick.
Ah! Pasha!
Yelled a panicky Sam.
Hey, try to grab the stick with your mouth. Okay, now this time don't let go.
Pasha nodded. A while later, they were passing over the jungle gym where Pasha noticed all his friends exercising. There was Minku Monkey, Minky Mouse, Oslo, and even Big Bro the elephant. Wouldn't they be surprised to find him in the sky instead of the ground for a change?
Hey guys, look at me. I'm flying.
But no sooner Pasha opened his mouth, fell hard, spraining his back on Big Bro's jogging machine.
Ow.
Mumbled Pasha painfully.
I can't move at all.
Poor Pasha, thanks to his foolish wish to fly, he couldn't even crawl now.